Greetings, everyone. We're going to do an earth-centered movement class today. It's going to be basic somatic exercises. I'm going to do them with you with the assumption that you've already done them before. So for this class, I won't give a lot of specific instructions, and there will be other videos that give more detailed instructions as we go. So for this is for people who've already taken, let's say, 3 different somatics classes, okay? So you have a general understanding. So we're going to go ahead and lay on our backs, and we're going to go through as many movements as we can together. So I like to sit kind of in this child's pose with the legs turned both in the same direction. And then I take and place my arm in the opposite direction and slide down onto my shoulder. It's a really easy way to roll onto your back, which is where we like to start. Tune in, let yourself relax. Oftentimes, our ability to relax is greater than our natural state or our habitual state. So sometimes we actually have to ask ourselves to relax and tune in and find those places that can ease more deeply. And in our movement program, we're going to be generating a greater ability to go into places that are even more outside of our control, let's say. So go ahead and bend your knees. We're going to just slowly begin to rock the pelvis back and forth. It's a very basic movement. Generate the movement and just begin to sense how you're doing the movement. And that is a process that can be very simple. You can notice how the contact of the ground changes. That's one simple place to place your attention. And then when you go into the arch, you can feel how the back muscles tighten. And when you go into the flatten, you can feel how your abdominal wall tightens. We don't want to lift the butt right now. We just want to keep the pelvis rocking. Okay, so as you get comfortable with the movement and you go into the arch, you can arch a little bit more firmly and you can flatten a little bit more firmly. So in the beginning, we sense a lot of the area of tension or contraction kind of in the midsection. And as we elongate or elaborate the movement, the feelings move higher up the spine. So now as I tighten, flattening, 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 I start to feel the chest tighten, which allows the arms to roll in. Now I'm inhaling to arch, and as I elongate the movement higher up my back, it actually helps and I'm being prompted to press my shoulders down. It's a natural impulse. So as I push, 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 there's a natural impulse to roll the arms inward. And as I arch, as I inhale, there's a natural impulse to roll the arms outward. Okay? So we go from a very simple movement of just rocking the pelvis to a more elaborate move. So now when I'm flattening my back, I'm arching my neck. And when I'm arching my back, I'm flattening the neck. Pressing the arms down and rolling them out. Exhaling, flattening, pressing the back into the floor, letting the chest tighten, the arms roll in, and the neck, the chin moves up. That's just one way, one form of movement. Let's do that a few more times. Exhale, flatten, press, twist the arms in, let the chin come up, and stay relaxed in your mind. Inhaling. Pressing the back of the shoulders, the arms into the ground, rolling the arms out, letting the chin come down. And ease that off. Every time we finish a movement, we want to take a breath of rest. So let's do it a little bit different today. Let's go ahead and roll slowly onto the belly. Movements. Just go ahead and lift your left leg. Just noticing how it's a normal movement. Keep the legs straight. And in the beginning, we're going to leave the hip bone, this part of your ilium, pretty much on the ground. Okay? So we're activating the leg lift at the leg joint where it's in the hip. Leg to hip joint. Okay, so we want to notice. We also want to take a breath of rest in between each lift. So we lift, inhale. Notice how that feels. Notice how much tension we have to apply here to lift the leg. And we relax the whole time. No strain. We want to keep all the movements within a relaxed mindset, a relaxed state. Now we're not, it's a bit of a puzzle really, how to create a strong, firm contraction, but stay very relaxed. Okay, the next time we lift, we're going to let this hip bone come up off the ground if it wants to, okay? So it's just as a matter of if you can do this, okay? So we're going to inhale up. We've passed the point here where the hip's coming. And once again, doing this as relaxed as possible, staying tuned in. The breathing between the movements is really important. And while we're taking these couple of breaths of rest between strong movements, we're really allowing ourselves, tuning in to see if we can relax these areas even more through our will, through our perception, our sensing. Our habit mind is very strong, so if we don't try to relax, or if we don't engage with that process, the habit may keep us tight. It may keep us short. So sometimes it's just a thought away. Let's do the next leg. Again, you're going to just lift so that the hip is staying on the ground or pretty close to it. And you're going to just feel how this movement operates. So for me, it creates a bit of a cramping tension sometimes there. Usually goes away the second time. Let's try. Inhale up. And that second time I lifted, this little cramping sensation I had pretty much disappeared. And so sometimes these movements will activate areas of tension in the body, and it's a normal process. So if you feel places that get tight or pull or feel like a cramp, just try and relax and try to do the next movement and see if they ease off. Okay? Let's go ahead and lift one more time. This time let your hip come up if you can and if you want to. This is your inhale. And take a breath of rest. Breathing again and really softening the butt, cheeks, lower back, gut. and the space between your pelvic floor. A lot's happening down there. Keep letting it soften. Tune into that place, get to know it. It kind of dominates the tension pattern for a number of reasons. One being, this is one of the horizontal planes of tissue. The bottoms of your feet, the pelvic floor, the diaphragm, and the floor of your mouth. We're going to do some head raises now. So in this movement, inhaling up, we start by making a gentle head lift, looking ahead. Keep your eyes open so you can track the movement and initiate the movement, direct the movement with your eyes. So as that movement feels comfortable, you're going to go up just a little higher, seeing if you can look a little higher, find a reference point. And notice that each time you lift a little higher, you're going to be engaging parts of the body lower down this way. So at first, we notice the neck, and then we notice the thoracic area, and then we notice this lower back tightening, and a little bit higher, we notice the butt tightening, and then the legs want to lift. And we want to stay nice and long during this process. We want to keep the arms not pressing up, but just relax on the ground, exhaling down. So we're going to inhale up. We're going to keep lifting the head until we feel the impulse of the back of the body tightening, and then we're going to engage that. And then the impulse of the butt tightening, and then we're going to engage that. And then the impulse of the legs lifting, and then we're going to engage that. And exhaling down, keeping ourselves very relaxed. Waiting for the impulse to move is different than just moving because you know that's the movement, okay? This can be subtle, but wait for the impulse and then engage it, okay? So next movement, we're going to put the right hand straight beside us. Left hand is bent so you're turning your head to the left. We're going to lift the head, arm, and leg as we inhale. Inhale up. Looking slightly over the shoulder. Pausing slightly and returning. Exhaling gently down. Use the corner of the eye to see if you can get a little more of a engagement with the system. Full breath of rest. Oftentimes we will only move within our habitual pattern. And it's in these times right now where we're looking just a little bit beyond that. Breath of rest. Remember where you went before. Go to that point and see if there's anything further beyond the pattern. Inhaling up. Look out of the corner of your eye. Lift a little more. And come on down. Exhaling smooth. Let it go. Really take the time to deepen your relationship to your ability to ease off your tension. It requires the ability to sense, to feel. We have a sensory motor cortex. So the movement comes from our ability to feel. We're going to switch. So we'll just do 3 lifts together with 1 breath of rest in between each one. Okay, so we're going to get ready to turn over and go back to some of the movements that control the front of the body. Give yourself a moment to reconnect to your experience of how your back contacts the ground and how you are experiencing your soma, how you are experiencing this process of our life, physically, mentally, spiritually, all these things, emotionally, they're all the same thing. There's only one scenario here: our nervous system, our presence. And so, yes, some things seem dominant in the physical. Sometimes things seem dominant in the intellectual. Some things seem dominant in the emotional. And yet, all of these systems are by design, by necessity, intertwined. Go ahead and bend your knees. So just be present for all of it. Just be in the sensing mode. Clasp the hands behind the head. Once again, inhale, arch. Feeling that nice, firm contraction of the spine. Exhale, flatten. First, we're focusing on flattening, 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 flattening. We really need to get this area firm and back pressed to the ground. At the moment, we feel the impulse that the chest is starting to tighten because really the rectus goes up to here. This abdominal muscle connects with the chest. So if we tighten all the way up here, it makes the chest tighten, which makes it easy to lift. Inhale down. It's a breath practice too. Keep inhaling. Arching, exhaling, flattening. Remember, we flatten first by tightening here. Then we let this tension rise up to here so that we feel the chest. When we feel the impulse of the chest, we go ahead and help that and lift. Inhaling down. We need enough breath to continue to inhale once we touch down to go into the arch. Really let your belly balloon here. Really let this arch accentuate. Pressing the arms into the floor. Exhaling. First way to press the back. Get it nice and flat. Then let the chest tighten and lift. Keeping my elbows pretty well open. I'm not closing them. That's the end of the exhale. Inhaling down now. and relax. We call that movement the somatic crunch. So we started off with the lesson 1, which is just inhale, arch, exhale, flatten. And then we flipped over and we did some leg lifts, and then we did the head, arm, and leg lift. And then we went back over onto our backs and we did the somatic crunch. So now we're going to engage the muscles of the side of the body. So just go ahead and lay down onto your side and organize your body so that your shins are square or perpendicular to the tops of your legs, and the tops of your legs are square or perpendicular to your chest, okay? And that the head is also in this line. So we're not, like this, and we're not like this. We're making a really nice square. You can use the edges of your blanket or your mat to kind of check. Go ahead and wrap this top arm around the top of your head. Grab this ear. We're going to inhale, and we're going to lift the head and the arm at the same time that we pivot on the knee and lift the foot up towards the sky. That's our inhale. We're going to exhale down. And take a breath of rest. We also want to make sure that when we lift the foot, we don't bend at the knee. We want to make sure that the ankle is lined up as it rises and lowers right over the place that it started. Okay, so inhale up. Once again, just feeling how this movement operates. What's your relationship to the movement? It's an expression. Next time you come up, go a little bit higher, make it a little stronger, just a little. So you can even be pushing on this elbow, it seems. Lift that foot up a little higher. Exhale down. We try and keep all of the breathing through the nose, in and out the nose as much as possible. We go one more time up. This time when you hit the top, or what you think is the top, linger there just for a moment and keep moving into that firmness. Then pause and slowly come out of it. So we're never really stopping. The pause is momentary. Okay, we're going to do the other side now. Once again, make your legs nice and square. Reach your hand around so it touches your ear. And you're going to lift on up as you inhale. Exhale. Return. First part of the movement, you're just checking it out to see how it feels. Just what's the gentle aspect of the movement? Where's your neutral within the movement, let's say? Now we're going to go a little more, inhaling up. We're going to start to feel where the tension is, where things start to get sticky, and we're going to move through that, into it, stay relaxed. Exhaling down. Good breath of rest. Inhale on back up. Notice what's happening with the rib cage on the lower side of your body too. There's a lot of information down there. So yes, we are, take a breath, contracting this top side, right? A lot of the power is being generated. But there's something happening because in order to lift and stay balanced, there's some pressure on the arm here. And on my way down, I'm having to control this movement. And I'm able to feel the rib cage open and close. It's very nice for the lower side of the body. Take a breath. Okay, roll onto the back. Let yourself just balance out for a moment. Make an X with your body. And go ahead and begin by lengthening out the left leg. You can ease that back and lengthen the right leg. Ease that off and then lengthen the left arm. Ease that off. Lengthen the right arm. Ease that off. Now let's go back to the leg. Left leg lengthens by shortening the right side. Notice how this contraction here determines the length of that leg. Ease that off. Take a breath in. Lengthen the right leg. Exhale, easing it off. Okay. Left arm. Inhale. Lengthen by shortening here. Exhale, ease it off. Right arm. Inhale by shortening here. Exhale, ease it off. Left leg inhale, long. Exhale, ease it back. Right leg long, inhale. Keep going, keep going. Ease it back, ease it back. Full exhale. Left arm. Notice how your head responds to the movement. Inhale, right arm long. Strong contraction here to get the arm, ease it back. Okay? You can do that any old time. It's a wonderful thing. It's called the X stretch. It's not really a stretch though. Okay, beautiful. Easing ourselves back into the ground. Those are two movements for the sides of the body. Okay, so we did the arm and leg lifting, and then we did the X stretch, right? Predominantly focusing on the sides of the body. So now we're going to move into a little bit of spiral movement. So go ahead and bend your knees and place your right leg over your left. Go ahead and make the left arm bent at the shoulder, and the right arm will just be beside you. Take a breath in. As you exhale, let your legs tip to the right. Let your left arm straighten and turn to your left. That's exhaling. Inhale back, slowly. Really let your core engage to return to neutral. Exhale. So our resting breath is exhale, inhale. Exhaling all the way. Sometimes you can exhale by pressing. Inhale. Now we have a lot of inhale. We have lots of time to exhale down. Press the legs. Turn the head actively. Lengthen the arm. Remember how we lengthened from the X stretch? Same thing. We're tightening over here. Okay, from this taut position, slowly return. We want to resist that impulse for the body to spring back, to recoil. Exhale. Inhale. One more time over. Exhaling, turning, stretching the arm straight, lengthening it long by shortening the other side. Pressing the legs down towards the floor. Turning, 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 turning. That's the end of the exhale. Inhale up. Straighten it out. Bend the knees again. This time, we're going to cross left over right, okay? We're going to put the right arm bent at the shoulder. The left arm stays straight. We're going to take a breath in. Exhaling to tip the legs to the left as we turn our head to the right and lengthen the right arm. So for the first movement, make it easy. Inhale back. We do the first one or two, and depending how you feel, you can stay in this light mode. Inhale. Exhale over. For many repetitions, just go to neutral. Let it hang for a moment, and inhale back. The movements work like that. I just prefer to do them with more firmness. That just happens to be my style, right? But I give everybody the opportunity to just do this soft, gentle approach. And so it kind of depends on your capability at that moment and in that part of your body. And really, as long as you keep your face relaxed so nobody knows you're straining, you're doing a good job. Okay? Because our ability to create force in our body, to be strong, is significant. And okay, some days it's not. And some parts of the body, sometimes it's not. But if it is, you'll know. Because if you start to tense your face or groan, then you've probably gone over your limit. Again, inhale, exhale. So if you can luxuriate in the contraction, then you're doing good. Beautiful. Let's unwind that and stretch it out. Luxuriate in the contraction. Okay, here we go. Bend the knees. Bring the hands together, straight up over the chest, not over your nose, not over your belly button, right over your chest. Take a breath in. As you exhale, tip the arms to the left. Don't let the knees move. We're not tipping the knees over, okay? We're keeping the knees anchored, and we're not bending this elbow, and we're not sliding the fingertips. We're pressing the arms over. We're coming back. Okay, inhale. Exhale, tip. Find out where neutral is. Yeah, that's about there. Now, can I go past neutral? I'm going to try it. Can I do it and stay relaxed? Right to there. Inhale back. So inhale. Exhale, tip. Feel the part of the movement that has no or little resistance. Notice as the resistance starts to pick up in your neck, in your midsection, and in your arms. Go a little bit beyond that. Look with your eyeballs. Inhale up. This movement can bring you into relationship with a lot of parts of your body that you're not used to. It's a twisting movement. Most of the daily movements that people make in modern society don't have a lot of twisting in them. Inhale, exhale, tip. Leave the knees straight up towards the sky. Push the hands down. Find out how you're doing this and go more. Inhale up. Find out how your shoulder blades are settling into the ground. or your hips. Check it out. Arms up, we're going to go opposite side. Take a breath in. Arms are going to tip right. Our rest is exhale, inhale. We tip over on exhale and we come back on inhale. So I just discovered that when I'm tipping over, I'm getting a little bit more length by pressing one knee into the other. So try that. See if there's something impulse happening in your knees. Take a breath in. One more time over, exhaling. Straighten it out. Find out how your back is feeling against the ground compared to how it felt right when we started. Notice your relationship to your breath. Notice if you feel any calmer mentally. Notice the sensation of your skin, of your experience of where you stop and start in the world. Sometimes that feels more constricted. Sometimes it feels more relaxed. Sometimes certain parts of the body are one way and other parts another. All we're doing is paying attention. Okay, we're going to continue with some movements that are related to spirals. So go ahead and lay on your back. Arms will be straight out to the side. Knees will be bent. We're going to start just by turning one hand up and one hand down. Okay, so focus on the hands for now. And just make sure you have the coordination of one hand turning up and one hand turning down. And just check to see if one hand is lagging or stopping, or if they're both moving evenly and opposite. As you increase the turn, the amount of turn, you'll notice that your head will, first of all, you'll notice a shoulder will start to lift and one will press down. So as your arm turns up, the shoulder presses down, and as your arm presses, your hand rolls down, the shoulder lifts. So notice that first, and then notice how at that point, it seems like the nose starts to turn. Like if you just wait, turn, yep, your nose starts to turn. So go ahead then, when you feel that impulse, go ahead and turn. So you're focusing on the arms, but the impulse then increases to the point where it's part of your head. And then you start to notice how much of this is being controlled down the spine, right? So just turn and turn and turn and twist and turn. Okay? So we're not just going to a point and stopping. We're continuing to move and express the movement. We're luxuriating in the contraction. We're not straining here. This is an exploration. It is a meditation of sorts. Because we're attempting to remain calm. While you're moving now, whichever way your head's going, let your legs go the opposite direction. When I get to the end of the movement, I have 4 contractions that I'm dealing with. The head turning, the hands twisting, and the legs pushing down. Try and keep even, firm connection to all 4 reference points, to all of each of the hands, of your knees, and of your head. And what you'll notice is you're pretty much activating every single part of your body. A couple times more back and forth. Just imagine a cat doing this. So when we say luxuriate in the contraction, thinking of a cat is a pretty good example. So come out of that, let yourself rest in this position for a couple of breaths. Go ahead, bend your right leg, not all the way as if you were going to stand your feet, but just halfway. And then let the leg bend out to the side. And now practice inverting your foot. This is a really important movement to understand and to learn. It's the last movement in the sequence of the red light reflex, in the neural cascade that starts in the mouth and ends in the feet. So get this movement incorporated in your awareness. Understand it. What we're doing oftentimes is we're duplicating the postures of these stress reflexes so that we can bring ourselves out of them. So the more we understand what they are, we can increase or engage that system with awareness and slowly unwind ourselves out of the posture and then rest and feel the relaxation. And in that process, we're teaching our sensory motor cortex a skill. And the skill is ease. And then once our sensory motor cortex has established a habit or an understanding, a familiarity with that, then it will help us reprogram the previously learned tension that comes from basically an overused sympathetic nervous system, a system that's been in fear, apprehension, and anxiety, the withdrawal reflex, for too long. Where were we? Invert the right foot. Lift that foot up towards the sky and ease it down. So that's step 2. Step 1, invert. Step 2, lift the foot. Step 3, push the knee down and ease it on back down. Okay, so first part's pretty easy. Second part's not too bad. As we get into part 3, though, in order to get the knee down, there's quite a lot of other activity that becomes apparent. I could actually talk for a long time on that part because there's a lot going on sometimes in our system that we're just not aware of. All we have to do is pay attention. Okay. It's a big movement, so we're going to breathe as we move. Invert. Lift the foot. Press the knee down. Bring the foot towards the midline. Let the head go in the opposite direction. And ease back down. Okay. So it's invert, lift, push the knee down. Foot comes to the midline. Head turns. And we reverse our way out of it. What you'll notice is, first of all, that it's a very demanding move. So we want to stay very relaxed. This is a key moment for us to remain poised, maintain composure. Okay. When I'm fully in the movement, I'm going to be pressing into the ground in a very organic way with the arms and the back of the head. this is a really important thing to pay attention to, because we're not just like doing this movement down there, because this movement, it represents that neural cascade that starts in the mouth and ends in the foot. So we are literally engaging the entire neurology. Well, we're doing that a lot more than we think, but in this movement, it really makes it apparent. Okay, so ready to take a breath in. Exhale, invert the foot, lift it, push the knee down, bring that foot towards the midline, turn the head, press the arms into the floor, press the head into the floor. And slowly unwind everything. Straighten the leg. Get yourself comfortable with where you are now. Like, rebalance yourself. Relax what you can relax. Feel what might have changed. Bend the left leg. Remember, okay, so if you're bending your knees, your foot's going to go here. In this exercise, the foot's going to go halfway to there. Let the leg come out to the outside. Invert the foot. Lift the foot. Push the knee down. Foot comes to the midline. Head turns and ease it back. So we're just going to start off with getting comfortable with the posture, with the shape that we're making. Invert the foot. Lift it towards the sky. Push the knee down. Foot comes to the midline. Head turns. Opposite. And ease it off. I'm noticing that my hand is starting to help. The more that you get comfortable with the movement, you're going to notice that this is a full body movement, whether you try to segment it or not. Invert, lift, knee down, foot to midline, head turn, press the arms into the floor, press the head into the floor, ground, ease it back. Take a full breath of rest. Once again, invert, lift, knee down, foot to midline, turn, express, ease it back. The bonus movement, the bonus lesson's not easy. Let's make it even more fun. Stand the leg halfway, tip it to the midline this time. This time, evert. Okay, the eversion is a really different animal of movement. Inversion feels easy compared to eversion. So get into eversion. Feel what that's like. Lift the foot. Press the knee down. This time the foot swings away from the midline. The head turns towards the same direction of that leg. And ease it back down. Evert, lift, push knee down, swing away from the midline, turn into that direction. Find out what the hands and arms are doing, what's the back of the head doing, and ease it off. One more time. Evert, lift, knee down, foot away from the midline. Straighten it all out. Even if you're very practiced at somatic exercises, this movement will probably reveal cool things to you. Like, I feel just such a great opening in here and a cramp in the back of my ribs, which will go away in a moment. Okay, left leg. Stand the leg. Tip it inward. Evert the foot. Lift. Turn the head to the same side. Foot moves away from the midline. And unwind. One side's going to feel harder. This side is my hard side. Evert. Lift. Knee down. Foot away from the midline. Turn into that direction of that leg. Ease it all back down. So what we do is we get used to the movement, or we become friends with the movement. Get used to the shape we're making, and we anticipate the movement so that as we move through the movement, we're able to engage more deeply into it. It's like making a friend. The more you know the friend, the more you can improve the friendship. So here we go. Let's make friends with this guy. Evert, lift. Okay, let's make friends with all of them now. So the feet are going to be, the knees are going to be drifted to the side. You're going to invert the lower leg and evert the upper leg. Lift them both up. Straighten. Notice what your elbows and head can do to help keep this movement happening. Keep breathing. One foot is everted, one foot is inverted. Both knees are pushing down. One more time. And the head is pressing into the ground. Let yourself sink into the ground, into the earth. She sprouted us up. Notice how you're making contact with the ground. Notice if your face feels relaxed, if your pelvis and your pelvic floor feels relaxed. Notice if your relationship with your breathing feels any different. Bend the knees. Place the feet about 2 feet apart, or whatever this length is on your body. If you do that, when you tip your legs over, the knee and the foot will kiss. And if you do that, and at the same time, you swing this arm across the top, and you slowly roll yourself onto your side, and you bring your head down towards your knee, and in the middle of it all, you turn your hand over, the lower hand. You'll be able to pick yourself up very easily. If you tip over and you push yourself up from back here, it's a bit of work. If you don't even tip yourself over and you try to get up, that's much harder. So we let the legs, the heaviest part of the body, tip us over, which propels us onto our side. And at the same time, we imagine like we're reaching for a friend. Help me. And that brings our forehead towards our knee, which brings our center, all the weight towards our center. And then this balance point over the trochanter makes it really easy to pop up. So this is like an ideal way to sit so that you have all of these options for movement. Remember, we roll on our backs this way. We can also lay on our bellies this way. Anyway, that's the bonus of the bonus. So let's just say that was good for now.